Here we go. Hey, folks. My name is John Peasy. Welcome to Cool Crap We Loved. The cool crap that we love. What is the cool crap that we love? Well, when I was growing up, the most important thing to me was things like the Twighlight Zone. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. And what else would the Twighlight Zone be without the cool, crappy host and co-host, Mr. Walt? Where is he? Where are you, Walt? And here he comes. Boom! There you go.
Who let the dogs out?
I couldn't get my mouth working when I tried to bring you up. I'm pressing too many buttons over here at once.
That's all right,
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Good?
Doing good. New background. Look at this.
Cool. Very retro,
background. Dude. I want to try and get, the green screen effect going on. I'm going to go buy something.
That's next. As a matter of fact, being that we're doing the cool crap at 60, 70 days, it should be retro.
Right. I'm going to go out and get myself a DOS computer.
Hey, what are you working on? You're working off a phone, though, right now. It looks really good. It's 4K. It's clean.
I work on a phone, man. It's a Note 9.
I can see your whiskers.
I didn't shave. I did it on purpose.
Actually, that's how good it is. Your whiskers could be seen. It's not bad at all.
It's because I'm, that's what they say. What can I say?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know you do impressions. That's good. I'm happy to see that.
That's Jimmy J.J. Walker. Hey, what can I say?
I do, hi, I'm Casey Kasem.
Yeah, we used to have somebody that did that. He sucked at
it. We think we fixed his problem.
Hi, I'm Casey Kasem.
That's not bad. I'm Casey Kasem.
I mean, it's
nice.
It's horrible last week anyway. Let's get on with this. Let's get on with some Twighlight Zone, man. I am ready for this.
The show's already over. We're halfway done.
Show's over. Sorry. See you next week.
Actually, I hope next week is going to be on Thursday. We're trying to keep it Thursday consistently every night. We're trying to keep that rolling like that. But yeah, this is really exciting because as a kid, I grew up in so many, black and white movies and sitcoms, and
yeah,
here we are. And by the way, when I was growing up, I don't know about you, but I would stay up late at night sometimes to watch this guy.
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
That's Rod Serling.
And the guy is brilliant. He was a brilliant writer, director, and understand a pretty good family man. I understand too. I also understand he smoked a lot of cigarettes, like several packs.
I was just going to say, do you know two things about Rod Serling that I noticed rewatching these episodes?
Mm-hmm.
One, this guy smokes like a fiend.
That's what they say.
Now, Rod Serling smoked like a fiend, but if you watch these episodes, everybody in the episode smokes like fiends. Everybody's got a cigarette.
It was a different time, Walt. It was what?
Everybody's got a second. Yeah. And here's another thing. And in the next episodes you watch of this, you're gonna look for this. You ready? Okay. Rod Serling's teeth were horrible.
Really?
His bottom teeth were all messed up and crooked. Like, I don't understand that. He had to have money to get that fixed.
Yeah, but that was a different time. People will take care of it. Like today, you pay $20,000 for teeth. 1950s. I don't think people were into teeth like they are today. Today, cosmetic surgeries, even plastic surgery, you could go tomorrow and get Botox and facelifts and hair implants. I mean, you talk about the 50s and 60s, different time, bro.
Bro, you watch Fox News. You know who Harris Faulkner is?
Sure.
Harris Faulkner's a beautiful woman. Teeth are horrible.
I never noticed her teeth.
Oh my God. They're like that all over the place.
So, it's something now I'm going to be looking at it, but I will tell you, no matter what you say about his team, that guy is brilliant. He was brilliant as a writer.
And I'm going to blow that myth tonight.
You're going to be the negative. I'm all right with a good and bad cop tonight. Okay, that'll be fine. So
I'm telling you that I rewatching these episodes. I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't he just use that premise in a different episode? Wait a minute. Isn't it? It's time travel again? Oh my God. It's aliens again?
Okay, you be the bad cop. I'm in love with this, all of this stuff. I really do.
Well, let's talk about the first one.
Now this is another thing. In order to even talk about this, right? When it comes, everyone's Twilight Zone fans. There's Star Trek fans and Twilight Zones, and there was the ones previous to this, but everyone has this plays over and over and over again. There's specials on New Year's Day, Thanksgiving. It plays 24/7 and all that. Everyone has their favorite episodes, and everyone thinks they've watched every one of them 30 times. And then sometimes you bring up one, and people go, "Oh, I don't think I saw that one."
Yeah, right? That's me. That was me.
Right.
That was me.
So we could certainly do hours and hours of shows on this. I mean, you could actually literally do several shows on the Twilight Zone, but we just took 14 of some of the favorites that I have. Now, this is one that the first one up actually is one that
full disclosure, John and I picked these out together.
That's correct. We spent much time together naked in my basement.
Right.
That's not a joke. It wasn't in the basement.
StreamYard in his basement.
That's right. It wasn't in the basement. That would be the joke. So this first one up, this is the first, by the way, the last one up is my favorite out of all of them. So if we have to get to that at the end. I mean, everyone has their favorites, but this one is
This is my favorite.
This is your favorite. Okay.
Yes.
So this one is, and I won't give you the name first. It's about an advertising executive who falls asleep and wakes up in 1888 in a strange but peaceful community called
Willoughby.
Willoughby. That's right. Willoughby. Now, this aired on May 6, 1960. And the director was Robert Parrish, and the guest star was James Daly.
Are you reading this? Are you reading this,
no,
or are you memorizing this?
No, I have a photographic memory.
Lying bastard. That's what you are.
I have a photographic memory, but I'm out of film. Yeah, so I do know this is. I actually know I did make notes on this because how would I remember like the date it was? I'd have to be Fellini. But what are you drinking there, by the way?
This is Polar Seltzer because I'm turning into a fat bastard over this quarantine.
Turn it in? Too late. Okay.
That's right.
Like this is suddenly. Look at this one.
Look at this.
All right, so I'm going to bring up this first clip. So this first clip is going to be really fun, and I just wanted to let everyone know that we don't actually have the rights to these things at all. This is not.
We don't own these clips. We claim no ownership. We are borrowing them, probably illegally.
Oh, that's good. Make that bonus. All right, so the first clip up. Let me see if I can grab this up into the window. So this first clip up is here we go. I'm gonna
Willoughby.
Willoughby, that's right. Next stop, Willoughby. Can you see that, Walty?
I can make it bigger.
I've heard that.
There you go.
And I can make it even, I think, a little bit bigger. How's that?
There you go. Look at that.
Good? Okay. So this is Willoughby. We'll do a little quick clip of that. Here you go.
You better keep it at 30 seconds.
This is Garth Williams, age 38.
It's the beginning of it.
Yeah, it is.
All held together by
We want to.
Just a moment ago, someone.
Listen, I can hear the bad teeth.
Williams' protection.
I'll go move it up.
There he is on the train, right there.
Cold winter this year. Seems to get darker earlier than it ever has.
Well, that's the way of the world. Rich get richer, and the days get shorter.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Son of a bitch in the plane guy, train guy. He's got it all figured out.
Stand for next stop.
All right, here's where
Yeah.
he's in Willoughby. And Willoughby is a town that's beautiful in the 1800s and everything is cool. So that I know this was one of your favorites, right? Willoughby?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what made Willoughby so great? What was it that intrigued you about this one?
You know why? And I'll tell you, because right now, the world, this country sucks.
Okay.
What's going on out there right now? It sucks. And everybody would love to go. I would love to go back to 1970. I would love to go back to 1980. I would love to go back to 1960. This dude went from 1960 back to 1881, where there was no cell phones, there was no internet, there was nobody by. He could start anew. People walking around with what do they call them? Parasails or whatever they are. The umbrellas and everybody. They had the cobbler, and you had the saloon, and 4th of July. They were going to be doing everything. So this guy hated the rat race. He hated it. He took the train every day. It stopped at Willoughby one night. He got off. He loved it. And now he goes to work and he wants to stop at Willoughby. He wants to move to Willoughby.
What would be in 2020 going back to Willoughby now? It would probably be going back to 1960 or 70, I would have got.
Yeah, 1970 was Willoughby.
I always said if I could time travel, which by the way, I do.
I'm a time travel guy.
Me too. I love time travel stuff. Matter of fact, a lot of Twilight Zones are based on time traveling things.
I know.
Yeah,
a lot of them, and Alien.
as a matter of fact, we're going to talk about that coming up in a little bit, right? One of the episodes that has to do with time travel. But if I could go back in time, I always wanted to, I was a kid then, but I would like to spend like a couple of weeks in 1950s or 1960s as an adult, viewing the world as an adult through an adult eyes. However, because it seems to me back in those days, as you know, there used to be the mom was in the kitchen making pie and dad was having the paper and smoking a cigarette and say, "What do you mean? What's the problem, son?" And it was like this, the family unit was a beautiful thing in television, presented in television. I'm sure there were drunken people that were beating up their wives and kids.
Of course there were.
But for the most part, it seemed like, it seemed like a beautiful time to live. So, but as much as that Americana seems beautiful to look at, back then racism was even worse than what they're complaining about today. If you look,
no, it's not. No, it's not. Back then it was different because it was new. This here, now it's different because everybody thought it was gone, and now they're saying it's not gone, so they're fighting it.
Yeah, but
that's a political show. I don't want to get into the political.
Isn't it apples and oranges from back then? Because I mean, if you were African American, you had to sit on the back of a bus or use a different. Not that I'm looking to get a political show, but I'm just saying it. To me, it seemed to be that's not good. That was not a good time in that respect. But the Americana thing looked like a beautiful time for family. It may not, and I don't think everyone experienced it that way. I think it was being projected and portrayed in the media through television series and shows back then of what Americana was supposed to be.
See, here's the difference between the Willoughby show and the John and Walter show is that now, if we went back, we're used to having a TV that does everything for us. We're used to having a cell phone that tells us everything we know. So going back in time where this is not available to us, we would die. We would just die.
Yeah,
we wouldn't even know what to do.
I agree with you.
Whereas in 1961, when what was it, 161?
Yeah.
And when that was shot, they had none of this. So when we back to the he went back to 1881. The only difference he had was there wasn't a computer with a button that had a light and a button that had a light and then it
was switches. A little switch.
A couple switches and all that. I was watching.
This guy just wrote, this is funny. Those chicks in Willoughby are really losing.
Right? They are. You know what? They probably were, because if you're in 1961 and you go back to 1881, you got all the lines, you got all the knowledge. You can get those girls and make them believe you're something like special.
I thought I just need indoor plumbing. That's very funny, J.S. But it's true though. Back, in fact, those loose women in Willoughby, by the time you got them undressed, you lost everything. It was all done, but you had all those layers of clothes and corsets.
Oh my God!
Right.
And a big dress. But anyway, the kicker on this was he would go back to Willoughby all the time, and he loved Willoughby, and he'd go back, and he was thinking about staying in Willoughby. Okay, he was going to give up his life in 1961 or whatever it was in the 60s, and he was going to stay at Willoughby, but it was all a dream. So anyway, somehow he fell off the train in Willoughby. He got off in Willoughby, and it turned out he walked off the train in 1961, and the coroner's car that came to pick him up, not the coroner's car, the funeral parlor that came to pick him up, the hearse, was Willoughby and Sons. That was the kicker at the end.
That was the big twist.
That was the twist at the end, that it was Willoughby and Sons that picked him up.
So he's dead.
He died at the end of it.
Maybe he was dead on the train ride to the.
No, he was alive. He fell off the train because the train conductor actually was interviewed, and he says, "I don't know, like something. He went nuts and he jumped off the train."
Interesting. I remember watching this one a couple of times, and it was eluding me. So that it's all coming back to me now. Yeah.
The hearse that picked him up was Willoughby. That was I was like, wow, that was brilliant. And then he did like 17 more of them just like that, and it wasn't really that brilliant.
I wonder how many people in the comments Willoughby is their number one. My number one is the end of my list over here, which if we run out of time, I'm still bringing up that last one because it freaked me out. But all right, Willoughby was
all right. So Willoughby is number one. What do we got for the second one?
That was brilliant. Brilliant. The next one is this is a classic, and this one was actually remade many times because the next one, this is interesting too. The next one is a three space travelers that crash into what appears to be a deserted planet, and it's similar to our own Earth. And at the end, they find out it's very similar to Earth.
Don't say it. Don't say the
Well,
ending.
It's called I Shot an Arrow in the Air.
Which I don't understand. Like I knew this one, and I was trying to find it, but I didn't know the name of it was I Shot an Arrow in the Air. What does that got to do with anything?
Either did I. And in this particular show, you can see there those are the people that were in it. Those are the 3 actors that were in it. That was actually director Stuart Rosenberg, and the story was written again by Rod Serling. And it was called I Shot an Arrow into the Air, which is like it's an interesting name. So those 3 guys landed, and what was going on? Well, they actually had
they crashed. They crashed on a planet in like the desert. It was all desert. There was nothing around, and they thought they were like, oh my God, we were stuck on this planet. Now they had a 4th guy who they just wanted them. One of the guys wanted him to die so they could take his water, just so they could survive longer. So now water was the number one thing that they were just to survive. Somehow they started hoarding water and fighting with each other because you go crazy when you're on another planet, or your plane crashes or something like that. Here, the arrow is the ship. It's a metaphor. I'm not. Is anybody else watching us but J.S. Gilbert?
No, it's just that he had relevant stuff to say, so I put it up. I thought it was relevant.
So these 3 guys, and then one guy, he murdered. I guess he goes after another guy, and he comes back, and he has his canteen of water. So the guy who went after him came back, and the other guy goes, wait a minute, did you steal that other guy's water? Did you kill him? And they brought him over to him, and he was trying to draw something. And then the 3 of them were there. Well, the one guy died, and the other guy, I don't even know. I don't remember if he killed him or not, but the one guy was left by himself with all the water. And then he looked over the horizon, and what did he see?
What did he see?
There you go. That's what he saw. He was in Nevada.
It says Nelson's Motel eats gas and oil in Nevada. So apparently they were in Nevada in a desert and didn't know it. And so he actually killed all his friends to have all the water. And then he finds out he never had a problem with water because he was right next to civilization in Nevada. So which, by the way, you know where I'm going, right?
Yeah, the planet. That's the Planet of the Apes.
That's correct. Which I understand, and I may be incorrect about this. From my understanding, is that I think Rod Serling went off this show at one point to direct or shoot or write, or they took the writing of this and made it into Planet of the Apes, which is basically the same thing. Damn apes. I mean, they updated that great scene. The great scene at the end. Charlton Heston's on the beach or up with the horse with the hot chick on the horse back there, and he's slanting, looking up at the Statue of Liberty. It's great.
Nova. That was the girl's name. Nova. That was on
wow. You're like
a horse with him. Yeah, it was Taylor and Nova.
That's right. Wow, very good. You got a good memory. Where's your notes? You're looking at the notes. You're full of shit.
Right here. I didn't do a lot of stuff when I was a kid.
Apparently. That's good though. It's funny that you remember that. And yeah, so this wasn't the most memorable one out of all the Twilight Zones, but it's a really good one. It's a really, really good one. And obviously it was rewritten later on.
How many times did that happen though? How many movies have you seen that happen? Where you're on it, well, even Twilight Zone episodes. I think there's more than one episode where they landed on a planet and it turned out it was Earth.
Yeah, a lot of them were where you landed on a planet. Yes, a lot.
How about just land on a planet and die?
Well, there has to be a twist. So
no, that's the twist. The twist is you're waiting for a twist, but it never twists.
Well, I don't think not all of them. Well, first of all, they're all written by different people. Now, this next one coming up is written by George Clayton Johnson, who I think written several other ones. And the director was Buzz Kulik. Now, this is not my favorite one. And as a kid, I don't know why, but you liked this one for some reason. I wasn't crazy about it. And the name of this one is called, I don't know if you remember, it's called
A Game of Pool.
That's right. And
I just, I'll tell you why I like this one. I'm a pool player, so I like it because of that. Jack Klugman was in it, which is Oscar Madison, which I love. But I saw this other one with Jack Klugman last night, and it was some spaceship one again. They were on it. They saw themselves dead on another planet, and he sucked in that one, Jack Klugman. But in this one, I knew Jack Klugman, and I knew Jonathan Winters, who was the Fats, the pool player he wanted to play that came back from the dead. So I liked the two of them. Growing up, I knew who they were. Everybody else, I didn't know who they were.
Yeah, interestingly enough, too. I felt like the newer Black Mirror reminded me of Twilight Zone. It's true. The Black Mirror is almost like the Twilight Zone, but it's a technology-based show where everything goes wrong with technology, whereas the Twilight Zone was more about the future and space stuff, Black
I don't
Mirror.
remember Black Mirror.
Black Mirror is a new series that was from the UK that now is on Netflix. It's fantastic.
Is it right? Oh, I guess I'll watch it.
It's dark. It's very dark. It shows you how
like
technology that turns out to help us ends up turning against us. It's great. It's really great. One of my favorite shows. I've watched them, a couple of them.
That's the Terminator, by the way.
Yeah, kind of like that, but it's
Terminator turned against us.
It's brilliantly written. It is a modern day Twilight Zone with a twist. But this particular one, the game of pool, Jonathan Winters, who's a great comedian, and Jack Klugman. Now, Klugman apparently was in, I guess, two of them or three. He was in two Twilight Zones. Okay.
Yeah, and I saw the other one. It sucked.
Yeah. What was it? Do you remember the other one?
The other one was, they were in a spaceship and they landed. They were hovering over and they saw another spaceship crashed. So they landed on the planet, but it was like one of those. It was like a flying saucer. It had the saucer and it had the little round cap on top and the round cap on the bottom. I'm like,
oh, it was 1960.
Yeah, but the U.S. doesn't fly around and flying saucers.
Oh, perception.
They have rocket ships that look like penises.
By the way, I could fight that point that we don't fly around in flying saucers in the U.S.
So now they land and they go outside and they see a crashed ship that looks exactly like theirs.
Right.
So they go into the ship and they see the people that are in the ship. It's the same exact ship, and it's actually they're dead inside the ship.
So again, they're outside of their body looking in. They're like astral projecting or something.
Maybe.
And that was the second one that Klugman won. Here's a picture of Klugman with Winters.
Yeah, but this one here, I like it because they talk like Oscar Madison.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I'm a big Odd Couple fan.
Me too.
So whenever you got Jack Klugman or Tony Randall in anything, I'm like, wow, that's he actually does. That Oscar Madison character is him. It's not him playing somebody.
I love the Arco. We should do a whole show on the Arco. I remember Pitts, and my juice, and the
Get me a chicken.
Pigeon.
Yeah, I love that one.
What is it called? The Pigeon Sisters, those two girls, and Murray.
Yeah, the Pigeon Sisters.
Right.
Yeah,
fantastic. All right, but I don't want to get off track. But that's that's another great show. Great show, and Klugman was great in it. But I don't know. I wasn't crazy about this particular one. But now this next one is one of the classics of the Twilight Zone. As a matter of fact, in the Twilight Zones that were remade later in the future in the 80s and stuff, this was remade again. This was Twilight Zone episode 3, season 3 rather, and this is Charles Whiteley. That's the guy's name. Comes up with an idea for returning to his youth. So I think you're going to know what that one. This is, let's see, again, written by George Clayton Johnson. Apparently, he'd written a lot of these episodes in addition to our friend Rod Serling. So this one, I think everyone will know. I'll bring it up right now. This is one of the classics as well. Here it is. It's called, check it out.
Again, we don't own this clip.
We don't own anything.
When I played this game, I kicked that can so far. That was a weak kick.
Kick the can.
Kick the can. Who's that guy?
I don't know who that guy was.
Everybody in this episode is probably dead.
I would imagine.
That house was looted in the background. That house was looted last week.
I like the way cans looked back then.
Yeah, they were big.
Yeah, and
you could bathe in them.
Yeah,
it's a mice thing.
The old man.
There's Rod Serling.
The great Rod.
So this one was about if I remember it right, that the little kids were playing kick the can. The old guy decided, hey, I used to play kick the can when I was, back in 1912 or whenever the guy was born. Actually, he was probably born in the 1800s because he had to be about 70 in that, and this is 1960, so 1890. Let's give or take 1888. We'll say he was born when that guy went back in the first episode to Willoughby. Maybe he was born in Willoughby. So this guy wants to play kick the can with everybody in the old folks' home,
right?
The old timers' home. So they feel young again, and then they all wind up turning into kids at the end, except the one guy that didn't want to play kick the can.
And this is your brother saying that was him as a kid.
Oh, that was him as a kid?
Yeah.
No.
That's what he says. I don't know. It's your bro.
I don't know. But anyway, you know what this is a rip off of?
What?
Cocoon. This was Cocoon.
Wait, this is before Cocoon.
I mean, Cocoon ripped this off.
Oh, yeah, okay, Cocoon.
Actually, right, they all went and jumped in the pool with cocoons except that one guy. And then they all turned to kids.
I didn't put those two and two together, but you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you something else that's interesting about when you think about that is that the Cocoon, everything is old as new. Every story is the same. If you look at every Disney story, what do they do to Disney stories? They always kill off one of the parents, and then the kid grows up alone, and then and there's a conflict between good and bad and evil. I mean, it's always the same story, but it's what sells. So I think people back then, I think these people really more the originators of these stories, and then they became sold later on.
Yeah, think of something original. How about that?
Give it to me right now. I'm hit me with it. I'm ready.
Something original. I mean, something like like a guy and his son switch bodies. Oh, of course not. That was done like 77 times.
Face Off was done.
Freaky Friday.
It's hard to be original today. You have to really think out of the box. I think I have a couple of thoughts on how to do a show I have a couple really cool ideas, but I'm not a writer. I'm not.
I think they should do a sitcom with you in it.
Oh,
and
no.
It's got Bert and Mary, Danny, Billy, and you would play the brother that thinks the puppet is alive, the ventriloquist.
Okay, we talking about Soap?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was already taken.
Yeah, it was not. It was actually already done. Speaking of which, I don't know if that's the next one coming up. We have to do one on the dummies, right? Because that like the greatest thing.
That's coming up.
But this one is not. This one is about aliens with ulterior motives. Okay, what are they show humans how to live peacefully with one another, and then what happens?
They show them how to eat.
Yep, they show them how to do everything really well. And what happens to these poor people? And they show them how to eat. That's the best way to put it. And this one,
so they want to take humans back with them because they're showing how loving they are, how acceptable of humans they are, how ugly and big head. Oh my God, look at the size of that head. It looks like Chris Roach.
I think that head is hilarious. And the guy's face, it's the perfect. And by the way, it's even cooler. It's got a goatee.
Who is that guy?
I don't know. I'm going to take a look and see if I have the name in there. That's an interesting thing.
You know what?
Rod Serling, stories by Rod Serling again, as well.
Yeah. So Rod Serling said, I'm going to make an alien, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make him really sad. He's never going to smile, but he's going to be cool with the goatee, and then I'm going to take Jiffy Pop and put it in his head.
It's really cool though. Let me tell you, 1960. This is hip. This is really, really cool. They definitely were way ahead of it.
There's the collar that did it. Hey, he was he was the Elvis of the alien world.
The Fonz of aliens. The Fonz.
So anyway, what was the twist on it, John? I'm going to give you this one. I'm going to lay this one up to you.
Everyone, this is one of the most.
How does that alien get on?
He's like, I ain't letting my lunch get out of my hand. It's like,
like, how does the alien get on the ship when he closed the door?
Yeah, I know. He took the next ship.
He stayed there to be bludgeoned by all of the people who found out it was a cookbook.
He just does the ray gun or whatever. Look how great of an alien that is. That's a great alien, 1960. That's a beautiful.
It looks like Lurch, almost like Lurch, Ted Cassidy.
It is like a Lurch. By the way, that is the guy's name is Richard Kyle.
Oh, I know who that. You know who that is?
No,
Richard Keel. Jaws. Remember the James Bond movie?
Right.
Jaws with the Richard Keel was Jaws.
And Susan Cummings was the lovely lady of the man, and that was called.
Dawn's always got to get dirty. She's always got to get dirty.
She's the Susan Cummings line. He's got the. This is what I keep telling the Denver to stop. It's a cookbook. Cut it out. I told you not political. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for going there.
I got to cut that one out. All right, there you go. And this one right, Moonraker.
Moonraker. He was Jaws in Moonraker. Also.
Yeah, really funny. That is, by the way, one of the most popular episodes of Twilight Zone.
Sure.
That is one of the go-tos of everyone. I don't know why, but that particular one hit home really, really strong to people.
Because that was a crazy twist at the end. The Willoughby thing where he took him in the hearse. That was cool. But this one here, nobody saw that coming. That's what happened.
Hey, look who's here. No, guess who's here? No filter Ron.
No filter Ron.
Good thing he didn't write anything dirty inside the cover.
Oh, he's gonna. Now he's going.
No, I can't have that happen. No filter Ron is out of control.
Yeah, but that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was one of my favorites too. And that ending scene right there was just the greatest.
Yeah.
I just throw it at you, Walt.
That
that's everyone's favorite. All right, so let's bring up the next one. The next one. Now here we go into my kind of episode. This is the Twilight Zone season 3, episode 33, and who's in this one? This is written by Rod Serling, right? But it was based on a lot of them. But it was based on an unpublished story by Lee Polk. Polk. So Rod saw an idea and then went and took it into a little different area. This is about an average ventriloquist, which there is no such thing.
God, I hate
not so average dummy with who's in the show, Cliff Robertson.
Yeah, and anybody who doesn't know who Cliff Robertson is, didn't he played Charlie, right?
Right.
And he also played Shame in the Batman series.
Batman. Remember that? That was great. The one where he played Batman and Shane. That was really, really great.
I like that, Shane. And Frontier Fanny. I remember them all, man.
Oh, yeah.
His mother-in-law.
I thought I had a clip for this, but I may not. Let me just take a look real quick and see. While I'm doing that, Walt, I'll stick you up here and let people see your whiskers.
No, I did. I didn't shave today. I'm looking retro. I like this one because again, I knew who Cliff Robinson was from the Batman series. And I've always been into ventriloquism. That's why, I befriended John. I don't really like John that much, but I like being near and, being able to talk to a ventriloquist anytime I can. When I was a kid, I got for Christmas a Charlie McCarthy doll.
You and a lot of other people too.
And I took him to school for show and tell, and I did a show and tell thing.
Get out of here!
My doll talking. Yeah.
Really?
Look, John Peasy, how are you? Look at that. I don't need to have an Alton.
Not bad at all, my friend. That's you're kicking over there. All right, so I think this is the right clip. I believe it is with Robertson.
Cliff Robinson.
We're certainly glad to be here tonight. Speak for yourself, Turkey. That's Jared.
Oh, it's not playing, right?
No. You
know why?
The sound.
I know I duplicated
it.
No, I duplicated it. I'm going to do it again because I really think it's important that people see that little clip. It's really cool. That clip is actually with Cliff Robertson, and here it is. And I love the way they look together and the way they sound.
Make it bigger. This dummy is like what every dummy looks like.
It's a great dummy.
That's George from Otto and George.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm getting out of here. No, wait a minute. Just stay right here. I mean it. I'm sorry if I said anything. I didn't mean it. Oh, no? No. Just tell me this, wise guy.
Wise guy.
You admit that you were superstitious now, didn't you?
Wise guy.
Yes. But you don't throw salt over your shoulders or cross your fingers or anything like that. No, I knock on wood. There you did it again. No, wait a minute. I resign. From now on, I will sleep
What is it with you guys and your dummies always trying to run away and you're pulling them back? With a little wink.
Yeah.
Boy Landon would love that.
Something happened to me on my way over to the club tonight.
Yeah, Cliff Robinson looks really good there.
In front of the Ritz Savoy. And that.
How do you like that? I was at the Frank's Ritz Savoy. Let me tell you, my friend, my little pal. that's that. Now, what happened with that? Do you remember what happened with that episode? Because
Yes.
Cliff Robinson is that the one where they switch? And
his manager, right? His manager is just had enough. He's getting thrown out of all the clubs, and it was all because of the doll, and obviously the doll is alive, but the managers and all the club owners don't know it's they think it's Cliff Robinson, so they fire him, and then the doll eventually they show from the back their last gig,
right.
And you turn around and Cliff Robinson is now the doll. And the doll is now, the ventriloquist.
That's correct. And that last picture, I don't have that picture here right now, but that last picture of him as the dummy and the dummy's head on him and his head on the dummy is this freakish kind of and the voices again have switched, but they're now matching the right. Yeah, that. What do you mean? How? Yeah, it's.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Totally crazy. And it's interesting. So there was more than one show with the ventriloquist. There was a second one that came out, and that was
Caesar and I, right?
Caesar and I, and it was Jackie Cooper and Jonathan West, and that was
Jonathan West.
Jonathan West. You'll see him in here, and it was a gangster-like dummy in that particular one.
Yeah, but it was the same dummy. I bet he used the same dummy. Just took a file and filed it up a little bit.
Actually, no, I don't think so at all. Let me see. I have a clip of it here. I don't think they
can't have the same dummy.
Let's take a look and see. Here we go. Ready? Check it out. It is the same dummy.
I told you.
What I try, I think. I could just get some money to buy some food, pay the rent. I could think.
Jackie Cooper used to be in the Little Rascals. Jackie. It's the same dummy.
Rent, is that it? Is that all you want out of life?
I guess so.
We don't own this clip, by the way.
No, we don't own the clip.
I try. I give it my best.
Your best stinks.
That was also
Caesar, I've
what was his name in Superman?
Had enough.
Perry Mason.
The ways to get hold of money.
Perry Mason.
tried everything.
And this is that's the one where what happens is that I think the end of this episode, the little girl, he gets rid of that ventriloquist, and then he goes to the little girl, "Hey, me and you can make some money, baby. And she's like, sure. And
yeah, now you
girl,
can't do that. You can't do that. Now you say that to a little girl, you're in jail for 30 years.
I would hope so.
But Rod Serling's like, we're gonna make another episode. We need the ventriloquist. Get the ventriloquist, dummy.
The ventriloquist dummy always makes. Well, it's not ventriloquist; it's ventriloquist. People always call it ventriloquist. Yeah, everyone
get the ventriloquist. We don't want people to think it's the same, so get a wood plane and take off a little on the cheeks.
Yeah, just make the eyebrows thicker.
Right.
That's what they did. Those eyebrows are huge. They are huge.
Yeah.
Still, I have a ventriloquist guy that makes dummies, and he has made many copies of that dummy for people to have in their collection of ventriloquists.
I don't know what George was. That was George.
Kind of. Yeah, there was some of that in there. He was a big fan too. He really was. Otto was a big fan of that that show and all the ventriloquist shows.
Even Jay Johnson and Bob on Soap. That dummy right there was Bob, except he was California'd up a little bit.
Nah, I don't think so though. I think yeah, I mean Jay Johnson's
You're
puppet.
a pro at this.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I would ask him. But he actually had. I think no, his first puppet wasn't made by I was thinking it was Hallie Olsen, but it was somebody else. But no. Anyway, hey, the next one up.
Wait a minute. Dawn, it's creepy your husband knows who made Jay Johnson's puppet.
That's if she's still even there. But I will say that I have behind this wall 20 great puppets.
Yeah. One day they're all going to attack you.
Yeah, you can come take a look. Actually, I'll probably sell them all.
They're all going to attack you one day.
They're not going to attack. I need to sell them all so I could finance something new and that has more value, like maybe a triple bypass.
Keep eating the way you are. Go ahead.
Sausage ring, cheese sausage ring is big. Which, by the way, when I go upstairs, I'm going to have after the rest of it on a piece of Italian bread. So
you know what I had today? I had a chicken parmesan today. Beautiful chicken parmesan. You know what I had yesterday? A chicken parmesan.
It's apparently the pandemic has an effect.
It was good. It was good. What's the next episode?
Okay, so let's see. It was 5 characters in search of an exit. And by the way, When I saw this first time, I remember watching this as a kid. It freaked me out.
Freaked me out.
Now, why? Now, all right, for the people that don't know, this was Twilight Zone episode 14, season 3, and it's about a ballet dancer, a major, a clown, a tramp, and a bagpipe player that find themselves trapped in the bottom of a cylindrical.
No, in a room.
Well, in the beginning, it's a room.
Yeah,
You're right.
it's a room. I mean, they're telling you what it is, but when you're watching it, you just think they're in a room with a light on.
You're correct. You're absolutely correct. But again, story by Rod Serling. Once again.
I'm telling you, he was a sick bastard, that guy.
Brilliant guy. Totally brilliant. And the thing about this was there's something creepy about this combination of the ballet dancer and the clown and the French, what was it called?
Bagpipe.
Yeah, what a weird combination, and but what do you call that? It's a Perot. It's a French.
Yeah, I read those were the only costumes they had left.
So it's just chance?
Yeah, they just no, I didn't read that. I just made that up.
Okay. Just the same way you made up you had chicken cutlets 2 days in a row?
No, I had them 2 days in a row. Well, I did 2 days. Tomorrow I'm going to have it for third day.
You had Chick-fil-A?
No, chicken cutlet sandwich.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Chick-fil-A. All right, here's the clip.
All right.
Ballet dancer, bagpiper, and an army major. A collection of questions.
Looks like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
5 improbable entities stuck together into a pit of darkness. No logic, no reason, no explanation. Just a prolonged.
See, there's a giveaway right there.
Loneliness in the eyes.
God damn it, I never picked up on that.
The shadows. In a moment, we'll start collecting clues as to the whys, the whats, and the wheres. We will not end the nightmare. We'll only explain it.
You ever notice that, John?
This is the Twilight Zone.
Notice what?
Did you notice he was talking into a cylinder?
Yeah, that's really a good point.
I never noticed that before.
When you're watching it, you just see him over a ledge. You don't think about it. And now that's right. That's a really good connection. Never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now they're in this room. They can't figure out how to get out. They hear a bell every once in a while, and it's driving them nuts that they can't get out.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
So Lisa goes, yes, I never noticed that. Yeah, I'm not the only one.
Thanks, Lisa.
Like the Nutcracker.
Dawn, you're just, I think you got Tourette's at this point.
She's hanging out with non-filter Ron.
So now they're in this room. So they see blackness up top, but they hear a bell up there, like a clanging bell, like a school bell,
This is one of my favorite episodes.
Me too.
It's something creepy. What makes it creepy? Is it the combination of people, the great actors being lost and not knowing where you are and what happens?
So now they decide that they're going to climb on each other's shoulders to get to the top. And there was 5 of them, which worked out well because you needed exactly 5 to get to the top. And he got to the top. I guess it was the major was the last one I got up. So, he was a really nice guy back then. He let the ballet girl, the ballerina, hold up like 3 guys. So he gets up to the top. He falls out. He falls on the ground. And he's in snow. And it turns out they're all toys that were being donated to the Salvation Army.
Right. And they're dead now. They're like.
Right. Well, they weren't dead. They were just. There was no life. But the bell was the Salvation Army guy ringing the bell.
But the consciousness was in them when they were all interacting with one another, but not in our physical world.
They didn't know what it was, but that damn Rod Serling gave it away in the beginning when he was looking over the cylinder.
He was brilliant. And you see, to come up with a story like that, to think of, wait a minute, all the toys are really talking to one another, but when they come out of the actual cylinder, they're just back to toys. They're not living anymore. And they whoa, great idea.
They were never living. But, I always thought this should have been the ending to the movie, the TV show Lost. Lost, when
you're right. Yeah.
This should have been it because they had the smoke monster and they had this and they had the numbers and all of this. And I would thought it would have just been great at the end if a little kid was playing with his toy set and moving Ben over here and moving Kate over here and and moving the smoke monster here. I would have thought it would have been great if it ended that it was a toy set just like this.
And you see that Bob goes, fine acting is what makes that. By the way, that's really, there's some real truth to that, because the actors that they put on there, a lot of them went on to become very famous actors, but they were all really good actors. I mean, there was something about all the actors. I mean, even like, you know, they had Captain Kirk on there, and they were just over the top actors at the time. Really good.
Well, Kirk is always an over the top actor.
Yeah, I know, but all of them though, they were really strong. In other words, the characters were easily defined and very strong. I think strong definition of character, which is just the same thing that works in ventriloquism, is what you don't have to grow a character. When you look at it and automatically know what it is.
Yeah.
You don't grow it. It's just, you look at it, it's there. And I think that makes and Bob said fine script as well. That's true.
But that was a really good. That's one of those episodes like you look for. If it's on, you watch it.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. That's one of my favorite ones, and it's really, really creepy. Now the next one, okay, is season 5, episode 6, November 1st, 1963. It played, and this is about a vindictive doll that takes revenge on a man who wants it destroyed. And who is that man?
Oh, that's Who Loves You, Baby. That's Telly Savalas.
That's right, Telly Savalas. And I have go ahead.
I was going to say, I got to be honest. In this episode, I'm not sure who I hated more, the doll or Telly Savalas.
You know, you're right.
Right? I mean, he was a real son of a bitch in this. He was the stepfather, right?
Yeah, I think he was the stepfather.
Stepfather. They just never worked out in the 60s.
Well,
Stepfathers.
You know, what's worse, stepchild.
They always made the stepchild. Well, it wasn't. It was the stepchild's doll.
I have it right here. There's a little clip of it here. If you want to check this out.
She's alive, Daddy, and her name is Taki Tina.
Who loves you, baby?
Tina, and I love you very much.
We don't own this clip, by the way.
Will you shut that thing off?
Taki Tina.
Stalker. Shut that off.
Oof.
Oh, man.
My name is Taki Tina, and you'll be sorry.
Ooh, you'll be sorry.
Now get it and eat your supper.
Eat your own supper, Christy.
My name is Taki Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
My name is Evan Stringer, and I'm going to get rid of you.
You wouldn't dare. Oh,
Wow.
Can't get rid of her. Can't get rid of her.
Now, do you remember what happened at the end of that episode?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, I always thought it was Talking Tina, but it's Talkie Tina.
Talking Tina. Yeah.
Like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Talking Tina. And, Telly couldn't get rid of it. Him and the doll were fighting. So he would try to burn it, and he would try to bury it in a garbage can. He tried to saw it in half, and it just didn't happen. And eventually what had happened was the doll was on the steps in the middle of the night. Telly Savalas went downstairs to get a drink or whatever it was, and he slipped on the doll, fell down the stairs, and broke his neck.
Yep, that's right. And he got me addicted to Tootsie Roll Pops.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you remember the old Tootsie Roll Pops? It was like they used to have to think, how many licks does it take to get to the bottom of a Tootsie Roll?
3.
Yeah. Yeah, remember that?
It was
Yeah.
like this. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
3.
It was
Yeah.
great. Look at this guy, Daniel Miller. I have a box of 48 right here, right now. I believe that right next to his urinal.
He's got blow pops. You know, you don't have Tootsie Pops.
Blow Pops. You know, it's so funny too. Talkie Tina. What's there? It is. My name is Talk. Where is it? Right there. My name is Talkie Tina. I'm going to kill you. Yeah, that was the line.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, she wanted to
said
kill.
that.
But you see, again, it goes back to this inanimate objects becoming alive, like the ventriloquist dummies that become alive, those characters in the cylinder that become alive, this doll for a child that there's something about when something's not alive, especially little dolls and things, there's an innocence to them. And then all of a sudden, by putting humanity into them and making them evil, it becomes like this great creepy thing. You know, it's so that theme runs through all of these.
And scaring children back then.
Yeah, well, it scared me.
I didn't watch this till I was older because I thought it was like chiller theater, man. I was like, Sheila with 6 thumbs, 6 fingers, and get that.
Favorites here too, and this one, Walt, is one of the ones that you brought up. I believe this was not one of my favorite ones. Now I have a lot of favorites, but this one is not. This is season 5, episode 24, and this is a man named William Demarest sees himself in a television killing his wife, Joan Blondell, by the way, and William Demarest as Joe Britt, and who is that person? Joe Britt, William Demarest. Who is that?
Oh, that was Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie. That's right. Yeah, very
Uncle
good.
Charlie from My Three Sons. That was and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you." I mean, back then, I'm gonna kill you, and he saw that he killed they bought a new television set, and he saw that he killed his wife in the television set, throwing her out the window.
Yeah.
And then they used to fight all the time, and that was acceptable back then, I guess. And, they were calling each other names and all of that kind of stuff. They were accusing each other of cheating, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
They were accusing cheating, and he was like trying not to kill her, but then eventually trying not to kill her, he killed her.
Yeah, this is a very strange one, actually.
What did you see, Joe? Lady Restless?
Joe, was she drunk?
She's like,
she's egging him on.
I'm gonna let Joe. Fan dances for Yonkers.
Oh, that laugh would kill me.
Yonkers.
That I'd throw right out the window.
Yonkers.
Oh, look at that. We don't own this clip. Oh
my God.
No way. Joe, throw her out the window.
That was great.
That's it?
That was well. That's all I got. I can't play the whole Twilight Zone here.
That's it. I want to see it toss her out the window.
But this was actually, it was very similar to another one where people would take a picture and you'd see the future in a few minutes with the picture, and they would print it out and go, "Oh, there's somebody falling next to the window," and then there's somebody at the window almost falling out, and they would go and they're taking more pictures, seeing what develops. It's almost the same idea with the television set.
Yeah. You know what? I've decided I don't like that episode anymore.
Now you don't like it. See, the other one who asked to bring that one up, I was like, it was pretty good. But again, was the acting great? You mean you don't like that lady and you feel bad for that guy?
But I like the guy from My Three Sons, and he wins at the end.
He does win at the end. Joan Blondell. Now, I wonder what other stuff Joan Blondell was in. I don't know. It sounds very familiar name, though. Very familiar.
Yeah, she's long dead.
I am sure. This next one is season 1. Episode 8. So this is the very beginning, and this is one of the best. And this one also, let's see, directed by John Brom. And let's see, wow, this is interesting. But this one is called. Well, I won't tell you the name. It is a classic that everyone loves. It's about a bank clerk who loves to read, but he can never find enough time.
Oh, this is a great one.
After an H-bomb attack, so he can now read to his heart's content, or so he thinks.
What's the name? What's the name of this?
Time Enough at Last.
How would I know that?
I wouldn't know the names either. I wouldn't know.
I had a hard time finding this one. I was looking for the penguin in the bank. That's what I was looking for.
I can't get the penguin in the bank. Yeah, that was the reference point. That's right.
Burgess Meredith. You're a bum.
This is I got a little clip of that one over here too. Time Enough at Last. There, and this is it. There he is, Burgess Meredith.
Oh, he was just about to kill himself because he was the last man on Earth.
That's right.
From the H-bomb, but then he sees a library because he loves to read.
I remember how disturbing it was to see everything destroyed all around you. Like
love that. I love it.
You just would.
Not that I love to see destruction, but I was a huge fan of like Planet of the Apes when they went beneath it, and you get to see Radio City Music Hall buried, and the New York Public Library, like this guy here. You go look at his books. He gets to read books for the rest of his life by himself. That's all he ever wanted.
Was to read, yeah.
You know why he survived, right, John?
He was in the vault.
Yeah, what was he doing?
He went in to get something, got locked in, wasn't it?
No, he was in there reading on his break.
Oh, yes. Yes.
He was reading.
Yes, that's right. And then what happens to this poor guy? He drops his glasses and they crack and he's done. And I remember thinking, tell me if your mind follows this like logic. And he's thinking, well, the whole world just got destroyed. I'm sure there's an extra pair of glasses somewhere amongst the rubble somewhere, right?
Maybe a Walgreens, right? What am I, a plus 2.5?
Didn't you think that too, though, at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not over. They were thick, though. Those glasses were thick.
This is Henry Bemis. Burgess Meredith did 4 episodes, and his best one was the one he played a librarian deemed state to be obsolete, which, by the way, it's funny he's bringing that up because I have that in the notes that I looked at. This was director John Braun, and there's another actually clip of it. Burgess appeared in The Obsolete Man, Twighlight Zone, season 2, episode 29.
Oh, I remember that.
About a librarian named Romney Wadsworth is condemned to death for obsolescence.
Yeah, because you get judged on what you do for a living, and if you become obsolete, then you die it.
That's right. That was a really good one. That was a good one too.
Yeah, that was good. It was weird. I watched the cliff notes on it, and for this show, and I find it weird that they couldn't put Burgess Meredith in anything that didn't have a library.
Yeah, of course, because he was a little guy with big eyes.
Big eyes and big glasses.
And those glasses were really funny. They were really, really funny. There you go. So
Batman.
Yeah, he was great. That's not bad. It's a pretty good impression. I like it. Now, this one is another one of my favorites, and I know this one is a favorite of many, many, many people. See, now, before I even bring this up, now Gilbert goes, yeah, look, what about the one with the plastic surgery? It's funny you mention that because that one too is one of my favorites, and there it is.
There it is.
Look at that. Wow.
Wow, I thought that was the Democratic nominee in 2016.
Hey, we're not political. We're not political.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
What are they? Pig faces, right?
The Speaker of the House. So this is. I'm only kidding.
That was Chuck and Nancy. Is that Chuck and Nancy?
Nice. So these two. This, by the way, this creeped me out too because if you remember that particular episode, that episode started off with them. That this woman was so ugly in the hospital, she had to get plastic surgery, and she was the most beautiful woman in the world when she went in, but we didn't realize it until the end when she took off her things. They couldn't help it. She was still gorgeous, and everyone in the hospital looked like those pig faces. That was just a wonderful smack in the face at the end. It was because, again, it leads you one way. It's like a joke, and comedy's written that way. You leads you one way and hits you another way, and that's what Stilling did here in The Eye of the Beholder. It was a wonderful, wonderful episode.
Listen, let's get your favorite in before we can't.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're at 59 minutes. We should be ending in 20 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead. Do the last one here.
Well, there's
how many?
What about these other ones?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna zip through them. All right.
We'll do it. Yeah, we'll do a minute 5.
Okay, we'll do a
An
minute
hour 5.
So after time at last, I wanted to bring up this is one of my favorites. This one's great. It's a story of a boy with the ability to create or destroy anything using the power of his mind.
Anthony. God damn Anthony.
Anthony. Was it Anthony? It was Billy Mummy.
Yeah, but his name in the show was Anthony.
Was it Anthony?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Real good, Anthony.
Real
good, Anthony.
Billy Mummy is Anthony Fremont. You are absolutely correct, sir. And who is the woman who was there as Mrs. Fremont, the mom?
That was Frau Luca.
Yes, Cloris Leachman.
Frau Luca.
Don Keefe and Dan Ellis and Billy Mummy as Anthony Fremont. Alice Frost as Aunt Amy. No, not May. I keep thinking Aunt May. It's Aunt Amy. And Max Showalter as Casey Adams as Pat Riley. And Janine Bates as Ethel Hollis. And Lenore Kingston as Thelma Dunn. There's a lot of people in that particular cast, but this is one of my favorites too. And the reason was this boy, everyone had to be really nice to the little boy, otherwise he would send you out to the cornfield.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was creepy.
Right. He was playing it. There's nothing like, this is his birthday. Nothing like when you have to be very cool around a little boy and worry about what you say. Give somebody a bottle of scotch for their birthday.
Yeah.
The uncle, the drunken uncle. Who's gonna say anything?
And this guy's, he's like, he ain't taking it no more.
I ain't taking this no more.
That's not what I want you to play.
Guess who else doesn't own this clip? Those people.
Do this. Happy birthday.
Do you?
Happy birthday.
He's a bad man.
Oh, this guy, this little boy he's angry.
Please
stop.
Please.
Great acting.
Oh yeah. The guy playing the piano don't know what to do.
Everyone's sweating.
This little kid's gonna wish him, "You're a bad man."
Let me see if you fast forward this a little bit.
Here he goes. He's gonna tell him right now, "You're a bad man. You're a very bad man."
You dirty little monster.
You know, this guy didn't have a bad plan. Distract him, and then somebody could bludgeon him in the back with a candlestick.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Anthony. You think bad thoughts about me.
Go ahead. Somebody get him.
Maybe some man in this room, some man with guts.
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 Who's so
Take this kid out.
in this kind of place.
Whack him.
Willing to take a chance.
There's a whole bunch of things there. That's like a cabin they're in.
Your skull. And end this once and for all.
You're a bad man.
You're a very bad man.
You think that,
Yeah?
Anthony?
And he's like, please take the guy out. Take him out, guy. Folks, take him out.
This guy was thinking about going to Jack in the Box for dinner also.
You're a bad man.
And he's out.
Without me.
What's he turning him into? Ah!
So well done, though, for the time.
Oh my God.
So well done for the
The
time.
spring. That spring's got to be worth money to all of these Twilight Zone people.
Give him a swift boot in the nuts. That's why this guy has no kids.
You better take him away from him. It happened to him.
Actually, his kids don't need nuts. They need nuts because they stand up in that urinal.
What's the next one? Get to the next one.
The next one up is another one is called Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. And of course,
we got to make this one.
Huh?
We got to do this one.
That's everyone loves that one. That is like one
This
of the.
is the one that is associated with the Twilight Zone.
I agree.
Yeah. When you talk about this, when you talk about Twilight Zone, everybody wants to talk about the stupid gargoyle or whatever is gremlin out on the plane.
We're looking at could be the end of a particularly terrifying.
There's William Shatner too.
That's right. And there he is.
There he is, Bill Shatner. There's a gremlin out on the wing of the plane. He's crazy. Look at this. Smoking on a plane. Look at this.
No.
More puppets.
Oh, Peasy. I forgot there was a puppet in there.
Me too.
Angie, no smoking.
That's a W.C. Fields puppet, too.
Yeah, and there he is. And there he is.
There it is.
You know, you're right. And everyone does. Everyone remembers that particular
Episode. That's the episode.
One of the big episodes. Now, I know we got to close this up. We're already at an hour and 5 minutes, but I just real quick, I'm going to do one or two more here. William Shatner.
Let me just tell you, the twist on the end of this is he opens up the plane door and he thinks he sees the gremlin out there. Everybody thinks he's crazy. And then the mechanics go over and see that there was something out there messing around with the wing.
That for real, yeah. And
For real.
Nick Kravitz was the gremlin. Whoever that person was back then, Nick Kravitz. You like that?
He must have been such a good actor that they put him in a gremlin suit.
And by the way, one of my other favorites that William Shatner he was in another one of these episodes. He was in he was Robert as Bob Wilson in Nick of Time.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, they were saying that.
That's the one, and I think if I remember correct, yeah, it is. The Nick of Time is the one where Robert Shatner and his I think his wife get broken down in a town, and they can't go into a diner, and they keep putting money in this little devil-y kind of thing that tells you future, and it's telling them everything about the very near future, and it's freaking them out. It's a really good episode, really good. Called Nick, I think it's called Nick of Time. Really one of my favorites.
Not as good as this next one you're going to tell us about before we go.
There's two more, real quick.
Who? Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
More. All right, real quick. This one is another one that is just terrific. Written again by Rod Serling. And somebody in the notes just wrote a little while ago, How many people think it's Rod Sterling and not Rod Serling? It actually is Serling. It's not what it's. Yeah. This
Those
one.
the people who say Valentine's Day are the same people think it's Rod Sterling.
You mean you don't say tomato?
No,
You say
I hate
tomato?
people who say it's Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Jesus.
This one, real quick, is about a pair of invaders that manipulate electricity, create havoc for a small community, expose humanity's destructive prejudices. And those prejudices they start turning against one another because they believe there's an alien in their neighborhood. It's called The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
Now, see, I don't remember this one, so you're going to have to walk me through this.
Great. I watched that one so many times. It was because you see people turn on each other based on information that's incomplete, which is almost like what's happening in the world right now.
Happening now.
Yeah.
Right. All you got to do is turn on CNN.
You're right. You're right. There it is, Maple Street.
Oh, they're going in. Oh, ice cream. There you go, Peasy. You had that tonight.
I had ice cream last night.
Oh, last night. And Nutella.
That was when my ice cream was like simplistic.
Yeah, the little cart that you drove around in.
I guess there was a meteor. Huh? See, Wama's in the kitchen cooking.
She's got the apron on. That's hot.
It was hot.
That is hot. Because there was the extra layer to get off.
Look at the haircut. It's a helmet with a little curl.
Oh, I love that. This guy.
Hey.
Is he making a coffin? A little sarcophagus over there? What is that?
So these people all turned on one another. And they have a company. It was really good. Meanwhile, they all find out that that there was really nothing going on, and then people are killed. One guy got killed. It's really it just goes to show you that human behavior can be easily changed by circumstances that we start to go into all different directions. But now, let me get to the very end of this.
Actually, I don't remember this one, and I actually had to go back and watch this one. But John's got a clip that gets him going.
He gets me going because
you better watch out tonight.
Yeah, because who knows what I may turn into later. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. The Maple Street was like the one where the guys rushed to the guy's bomb shelter, which is the same exact thing. There was another one where there was a bomb shelter, and they thought there was going to be everything was being blown up in the United States, and everyone's trying to get in. The guy wouldn't let anybody in. He wouldn't let anybody in. And in the end, well, again, it just shows us this Twilight Zone shows you a display of human behavior and how it's affected by the surrounding. It goes to show you that there's cause and effect in how people behave. It's pretty interesting to me. It's more than just a good show. There's a lot of thought into this. But here's my favorite, Mr. Walt. It's about a man that's a co-host that doesn't shave. This is one of my favorites, and the reason why this is one of my favorites, is because of one scene. It's a matter of somebody being taken advantage of by innocence and then turned out to be evil. Innocence and evil. And I have very weird experience as a child with somebody that I was very innocent as a little kid, and somebody stole something in front of me and lied to me when I was like a little boy in New York City. And I remember, I'll never forget it. And it was the first time I learned there was evil in the world. And maybe that's why this one resonates with me. So I won't bore you with the story that I had, but
too late.
It's too late. Excuse me. But I know I'm setting this up way too much, but this particular story was the Twilight episode 5. It was David Ellington comes upon an old monastery occupied by the Truth Order that is hiding a benign old prisoner man. And the man is in a cell, and inside the cell, this man is a young, I guess, good look.
Charlton Heston look. He had a Charlton Heston look.
Right. And this man being in the cell is got these bars. He can stick his hands out. What's holding the bars is just a little cane, a white little cane that he could just and pick it up and throw it away and open up the door. But
he can't.
He can't. But this gentleman that's in this episode hits his head and is driving a car, hits his head, gets lost in the woods, and goes to this monastery. And then they bring him back to health, and they want him to get out. And he starts finding out what's going on over here, and he wants to save this guy. And the guy's telling him, please let me out. They're crazy people. You got to let me out. And he's like, what do you mean? Just lift up the thing, go out. And he goes, no, you don't understand. Here he comes. You got to get me out. And he fights with himself whether he should or shouldn't do this because they say he's evil. And they're like, what do you mean he's evil? Look at him. And he's wondering who's crazy here. Is it the monastery people or is the guy in the jail? And what's going on? He's like lost. But the scene, so what happens is after it's all said and done, the scene that happens here is that he eventually lifts up this little cane that was holding him back from this monastery.
So the guy in the jail, behind the bars, couldn't do it himself. He had to coerce somebody else into doing it.
That's right. That's exactly it.
He got this guy. He talked him into letting him out of the cage.
That's correct. And it's this particular.
And then what happened?
He turns into the devil.
He was the devil.
He was the devil, but he was in fooling him with his look of innocence. Yes. And then he turns out to be the devil. And as he becomes,
when you see this transformation, this is crazy.
Right. It's a beautiful transformation, and
John loved this
day intrigued. I watched it over and over and over again, trying to understand how they did the scene because I just like the scene. And I'm not in the movie.
The camera off.
So here it is.
Shut the camera off. We don't own this, by the way.
now you tell us.
Oh, look at this! Look at this spider thing he does. Nice looking guy.
Yeah,
Charlton Heston. He's got a beard like I do. He starts walking. He goes past the
paralyzes the guy.
Oh, he's different. Oh, he's different again. Oh no! You see the camera switch there? Oh, it switched again. Oh, look at that! A different picture. And now he's the devil. You lose. And then he pulls the Wizard of Oz disappearing trick into the floor.
That's the name of that episode is called The Howling. And
the Howling Man.
Howling Man, I'm sorry. And that particular episode, when this man on the floor who's paralyzed ends up spending the rest of his life chasing down the man that he let out. The evil.
And that's how we got the Night Stalker.
Yeah, maybe. I got to tell you, I still watch that, and I love it. I love
Darren McGavin.
Just love the whole thing. That was a great series. Yeah, that was great. But this is so cool.
Well, listen, we're just gonna have to start changing the show to 75 minutes.
Yeah, I know this is great. We're at hour 13. We're 13 minutes.
Well, you know what? We're gonna tell everybody we do 75-minute show.
No, we just basically what's going on here is that we're having a good time. It takes a long time to do all this stuff.
I know. It's all these people with these comments. Stop with the comments.
Stop with the comments. What are we doing it for? Who are we doing it for? Me and you?
Right. Every time Dawn wants to talk, she puts something on there.
Classic. People are leaving comments still now. There's a bunch of comics here. Anyway, there's many more. We could do episodes, more episodes on the Twighlight Zone. It's endless. They're so great, and you could really break them down and go into really an involved expose on each and every one of them. They're really that good. And what happened, even with the actors, there's so many famous actors that were in these that eventually went on to become huge stars. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Huge stars. So
the extra one I saw with Jack Klugman last night, where the spaceship came down and it looked like with the ring.
Yeah,
one of the guys that was in it was I'm sorry, not that one. It was a guy. Cliff Robinson went back. He needed medicine for his kid from 1881, and he went to 1961 over the hill. And one of the guys in there was John Aston, which was Gomez Adams.
Oh yeah.
He was a bit player in it. But anyway, thanks for doing this. Next week, what are we doing next week? We're doing Honeymooners next week?
Honeymooners.
We'll do either Honeymooners, maybe the Honeymooners next week, or we'll do sitcoms next week from the 70s, just to break it up so we don't have two, all shows together. And then the following week, whatever we don't do, we'll do that week.
Works for me.
So
we'll see you next week. It was too much fun, Walt.
Thanks, man. Thanks for everybody who's watching out there. And remember to like us on Facebook. Cool Crap That We Loved. And we'll put this up there. And if you know anybody, share it on your page for us, man. We want to get as many views.
And yeah, we have our own Facebook page, Cool Crap That We Love. That it's on there as well right now. So
there you go.
Share, give us some thumbs up, give us some likes. And my wife wanted to say something before you left. What was that? Just shut up. Hey, wait a minute.
Pacey. I don't even know Mrs. Pacey, and I don't like her.
You know what's funny is that she's talking to you like your husband.
Right. All of a sudden, don't be treating me like him.
Oh, there's Johnny Patel. A great show, John and Walt. Thanks, Johnny. Hope you're feeling well. Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
It was too much fun. Walt, we'll see you next week. Probably Thursday or Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
See you next week.
Gotcha. Check it out, bro. Talk to you later.